What's up guys, this is Carl from Monkey Mods again, and here I have another video of showing you a problem that I'm encountering with the Mk3 Pro Max. This is our shop tester unit and now it's busted. But I'm not really sure what happened, but I suspect it is the motor that is giving me the problem. So this happens quite randomly actually because there was no symptoms. I was using this blaster or this particular with this particular gearbox one day before. It was working perfectly well. There's no problem. Everything works just fine. And then I put the blaster back to the deprime position, unplug the battery, this and that. Go to bed. The other day, I'm trying to use this blaster again, and then this happens, and it's really weird. I just grab I grab the battery. I plug it in, and then I load the darts into my magazines, and then I try to prime the blaster, and then nothing happens. So I thought, oh, must be something wrong with the wires or whatever. But I checked, everything looks just normal. There was no wire breakage or anything. Everything looks just fine. The anti-jam system switch also is not off the positions. The wire is not dropped. Everything's just fine. All the wires and everything just is perfect, but it just refused to work. For example, if I just put it to, it's already in semi already. With the battery in, I pull the trigger, the blaster should prime because now it's deprime. But nothing happens. So semi, right? Nothing happens. The battery is fully charged as well. So right, nothing happens. And then I just couldn't figure out what. But after talking a bit with QWK, and then they told me to check the motor. It's very likely there's something wrong with the motor. So how do I actually diagnose that? Because I have no idea. So he told me to grab a magazine with the magnets, and then just simply observe the bolt catch latch. Because if the system is functioning, or at least if the chipboard and everything is actually functioning, there's no problem with the chipboard and wiring, the bolt catch should be activated to the rear positions. That will actually, when this is actuated, this will catch the bolt and lock the bolt back. So I tried, and let me show you. So this is where the sensor for the magnets is located. So whenever you have your empty magazine up here, just like as if it's in the receiver, this will happen. Right, see that? Let's do that again. Let's pay attention to this bolt catch. Right, so yeah, it actually activates the bolt catch. So that means there's nothing wrong with the wiring system, there's nothing wrong with the chipboard, nothing wrong with the trigger assembly, etc. It's just the motor refused to work. So yeah, I'm going to open this gearbox, show you guys, and then if there is indeed, if the it wasn't the solder problem, then we will replace the motor, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to take everything apart first, and then yeah, show you what's like inside with the motors. Now, before I proceed further, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, whenever you want to disassemble your Mk3 gearbox, you should always put the blaster positions in the prime positions, which is when you can freely manipulate the bolt. But in my case, because the motor failed, I could not. So I have to be extra careful when I open the gearbox because the spring is going to want to make the whole thing jumps. So you have to pay extra attention when you open the gearbox with the blaster not prime, right? So right, so with all the screw removed from the gearbox, now I have to be really careful when I open this gearbox with the spring unprimed. So yeah, this is gonna be a bit difficult. Ooh. Alright, that is indeed more harder than the usual. Right, so the motor doesn't look like there's a soldering drop or anything. So yeah, wait, this does look have some weird things going on in there. Let me see if I can show you. Alright, I noticed there's something here. Right, there is a metal piece here. I'm not really sure where this comes from. Right, not sure you can see it, but yeah, this was found near the motor. Maybe there was just something wrong with the motor, and then might be part of the carbon brush or something. I'm not sure. Okay, see if there's anything else. Everything else just looks alright. Okay, I'm just going to remove the motor by desoldering it, and then we are going to replace one into it. Alright, so I'm going to have to remove the motor from where it's seated. Now apparently the motor it's well sort of it's not really glue, but rather a piece of a tape. QWK say that that piece of a tape helps the motor to transfer its heat onto the entire aluminium gearbox. So it may require a little bit of a prying to get it apart. So let me see if I can do it. Right, there you go. Apparently this piece of well, tape or something is supposed to help the motor to transfer the heat onto the gearbox better. I'm not really sure, I don't have this tape, so I can't really tell if there's anything wrong with this motor. Well, visually anyway. But I'm going to desolder this, and then I'm going to replace with the motor, and we see how it goes. So this is the replacement motor that I got out from another defective Mk3. So I'm just going to hope that this will actually solve the problem. Well, it's broken. Hopefully this is a motor that's broken. So yeah. So I'm going to solder the wire back to this motor, and then we'll see how we can get it tested. Alright, with the motor soldered, let's try and put this back together and see if that actually solved the problem. But before that, I'm really curious if I'm able to test the motor without putting everything back together. It's a bit risky, but let me try and do it. Alright. Okay, I think you saw that just now. So yeah, it was probably the motor. This is really dangerous and really not a good example. I'm actually quite ashamed of myself. I let my curiosity gotten ahead more of myself. So my apology. So yeah, let me just unplug the battery and put this back together and we'll test it. All right, we are done. Well, I'm done. reassembling the whole gearbox. Now, moment of truth. Let's plug in the battery and see whether I fix this gearbox. Alright, no smoke. Again, always a good sign. Alright, let's... Am I? Yep. 3-shot burst. Full auto. Yep. And yeah, so well, this is how you replace the motor on a Mk3 Standard and Pro Max. Doesn't matter, it's the same. But yeah, like I always said, owning a Mk3 is all about taking care of the gearbox. And I promise you, doesn't matter how well built your Mk3 Pro Max or Mk3 Standard is out of the box, it may work for a long time, but problem is bound to happen. Like, this gearbox has been working perfectly well for the past 1 month, and just all of a sudden it stopped working. So yeah. So again, I want to emphasize the Mk3 Pro, while the Mk3 Standard, well, generally speaking, all the QWK Challenger is a very nice blaster to have, but you have to expect problem to happen when you use this type of well, relatively speaking, quite high-tech gearbox, piece of a tools. I don't really even consider this this really to be a toy. So yeah, when you own this kind of well, let's just call it gadgets or whatever, things will happen, and when things happens, it is very important that you know how to deal with them. And at Monkey Mods, we are working very closely with QWK, so we will make all the replacement parts, or even those that are not regularly broken parts, available. If it's not available at Monkey Mods, you can PM us and ask us about it. Doesn't really matter if you did not purchase your Mk3 from us, you purchase it from everywhere else, it doesn't matter. If you have trouble or problem sourcing for the parts, please contact us. We'll do our best to help you to make your Mk3 up and running again. Right, so that's all for today. Just want to show you guys how I, well, diagnose and fix these problems. And yeah, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next video.